Hello mouses! We're back again on a Monday and that means legal news, and we've got some very illegal, very news. Does that even make sense? Who cares? The first thing we want to talk about today is, of course, the agreement between Alex Salmond and David Cameron being the UK Prime Minister and Alex Salmond being the First Minister of Scotland, to have a referendum on whether Scotland's going to leave the United Kingdom. This is monumental news. This is basically two leaders of the country saying that they're happy to have a vote on whether the country no longer exists as it has for the last 300 or so years. I am amazed that this is actually happening, because from all the polls I hear, the only people that want Scotland to leave the United Kingdom are the very vocal, very aggressive nationalists. And I'm not going to say that they can't have their say, because of course they can. And I'll support their right to want to leave the United Kingdom, because I know what that feels like. I want to leave Europe because I find that Europe is stifling, to be honest with you. But I recognise that it might, for the majority of us, seem like a good idea to stay here. Maybe it's doing them well. I understand that we're going to have this big debate now, mostly in Scotland, because the rest of us in the United Kingdom aren't getting a say in this at all. So most of it's going to pass us by. But for the next 2 years or thereabouts, you're going to get bombarded with, say yes to leaving Britain, say no to leaving Britain, and things like that. And it's going to be hell. So it's something to watch with interest, because this could well be a turning point in history for Britain at least. The United Kingdom might not exist at the end of this. It might just be England, Wales and Northern Ireland, which is not the same. Of course it's not. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the referendum's going to come, just like it did in the 70s, and people are going to say no, just like they did in the 70s, and then the nationalists are going to shout and scream and stomp their feet for the next 30 years or so, and then there'll be another referendum and we'll do it all again. I really think that's what's going to happen, because from what I can see with online polls and things like that, it's about 20 to 40% of people want Scotland to leave the United Kingdom. But it's going to need at least 50% to get their way, so it's not going to happen, and we're actually just going to spend millions of pounds on a referendum that results in us saying, yeah, we'll stay with what we got. Which isn't great, but at least it might shut them up for a bit. Probably won't, but it might, so we'll see what happens. Okay, what else have we got? Well, the big scandal going around at the moment is, of course, Jimmy Savile, the guy who fixed it for people to do X, Y and Z by writing them letters. It was apparently a kiddie fiddler, and the BBC covered it up. Apparently they knew all about this, and a lot of people are just saying, no, don't worry about it, don't mention it outside, it's just the way it is, that's how things work here. And if that's true, every single person that did that and was involved in this cover-up has to be prosecuted. There are no two ways about this. If you touch kids and are sexually active with children, you go to jail. If you cover up people doing that, you should go to jail too. There are no two ways about it. This is simply unacceptable. So, I'm very much in favour of every single person that was involved with this getting prosecuted to the full extent of the law and have their lives ruined the way that they ruined the lives of those children. I have no sympathy for these people. I want them prosecuted, I want them humiliated in public for the fact that they allowed someone to get away with so much. But at the same time, I'm not fully convinced that Jimmy Savile did all of the things that he's supposedly done. Because I remember that there was this thing where a lot of evidence was found in an orphanage in Jersey for child cruelty, including pieces of a child's skull. And apparently all of this has been going on for decades, and people came forward saying, yes, this happened to me. I had X, Y and Z happen. It was institutionalised. All of it was covered up because everyone involved was doing it. And then it turned out that none of the evidence was actually real, and the pieces of skull fragment were actually coconut. Now, I don't know what kind of person on a building site can not tell the difference between a piece of coconut and a piece of skull, but apparently they can't, and it all blew up from that. Some of the people that are coming forward, yeah, sure, they're probably genuine. We don't know for certain, because there's not an awful lot of evidence that's still around, and investigations have to go out, and we won't know for a while, and probably we'll never know all of the details. But some of the people that are coming forward are quite clearly attention seekers who are just doing this to jump on a bandwagon and go, oh, me too. And that I don't like, because that takes time away from actual investigation of actual crimes, and the people who do that should be prosecuted for wasting police time, and they never are. They should be, and then perhaps we can stop all of this stupidity that goes on when people go, oh yeah, it happened to me too, come on, give me attention, me. No, those people need a punch in the face and told not to do it again, and maybe then we'll have less wastage in the police where dead ends need to be investigated just because some dickhead can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Okay, that's all I've got time for today. I don't want to keep you too long, so remember, if you like this, click the like button, share it with your friends so that they can see what's been going on in the news as well, and subscribe for future videos. Until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Knob Mouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.